I met Martin first time here in Cinecittà when I was with Fellini for City of Women. And then he called me for The Last Temptation, but I was busy with Baron Munchausen. And then he called me again for Age of Innocence. And Age of Innocence was my first movie with Martin. Then I did Casino, Kundun, I did set and costume, and then Bringing Out the Dead, and now this. But I heard about this movie just when I did Age of Innocence. When we start to talk about this movie, he gave to me 5 books full of researches, and then I make sketches, big sketches with all the information I have, and then I make technical drawings, and then I make models, because with the models you see three-dimensional, you have the right feeling what you're going to build. And then also it's easy for the director when he see the model, he figure out better what he wants to shoot in. Sometimes it's better also for me because I don't want to build something you don't need. And then I showed all this to Martin. Martin approved this, and then I started.
Well, I think it was very important for us because the actors, when they get there, it's a real place. Sets of this size may be the last you'll ever see in a film. The exterior was the whole area of downtown New York.
I start to build the set here in middle of April, and we start to shoot September 18. So we build everything in 5 months. We built all the Paradise Square, all the interiors in the stage 5, the brewery, the Saturn Circus, and the pagoda, the Sparrow Pagoda. And at the same time, we built also the harbor with the 2 ships and all the interiors in the back lot. And then we built a section of Broadway. I have had fantastic people with me, all the carpenter, painters, and plaster, sculptor. We have had fantastic people.
Well, we'd all heard the rumors about what Dante was up to, who became like the wizard of the 5 points through conversations with Martin and others that had been over to Cinecittà to see what was going on there. It had already taken on a kind of mythological status, but nonetheless, to actually see it with one's own eyes, it was quite astonishing.
In terms of images and in terms of the scale of it, it's the most exciting because it has so much to offer. And we're treating his sets like we're shooting on location. We can photograph like almost everything in every direction. It's all like 360.
The sets, firstly, are fantastic. Dante Ferretti, it's got a very Italian flair. I think the whole movie has got a very extravagant look to it. The sets, for me, are wonderful because there's a lot of scale and scope and largeness to them. So we're dealing with big strokes all the time in the movie, in as much as lots of actors, lots of stuntmen, lots of crowd. So it's fun dealing with large entities rather than 2 people fighting in a train carriage, which is exciting in its own way, but this is a totally different view. And I think the sets, the street here, Broadway, the scope and the width of Broadway is a great sort of set to play with. I've had Cameron Diaz coming down here with a building behind me on fire, big screen looking stuff. It's got a very, very old world expense and expanse to it, I think. This certainly has got a big budget look and feel to it, which is wonderful to play with.
The whole city created, isn't it? It's downtown New York, it's there. I mean, wherever you go around the corner, you go further, go down to the dock, come back, past the warehouses. I mean, it's extraordinary. You don't have to suspend your disbelief for very long.
Anywhere you look on that set, you can't imagine that it's something that was created a couple of months before. The aging, the timelessness of the piece itself, and then it transports you completely back in time. And you're looking at it and you're going, wait a second, I'm confused here at what I'm seeing because it seems so real, but at the same time,